Made it to Machu Picchu. There are a lot of tourists. Bloody tourists, man, go home. We are currently overlooking Machu Picchu. You also have these little niches right here. If there was an earthquake or anything was to happen, it used to absorb the shock and help the structure. Sacred area is known as Wanka or Waka. You're racing a bus. What are we talking about? Welcome to Aguas Calientes, the town which is literally the entrance to Machu Picchu. It's currently 7:30 a.m. and we are on the way to the bus to go directly to Machu Picchu as our entrance is at 9 a.m. In today's video, we're going to explore the ruins, explore Circuit 2A, which is meant to be the best circuit there is, and check everything out. Hopefully we'll get a tour guide while we're there, we'll organize that, and then we'll see Machu Picchu, and I'll see Machu Picchu for the first time. If you don't know who I am a Muslim Australian Lebanese travel creator on a mission to share this beautiful world with the world. Currently, as you can tell, we're in Peru, South America, and this is part of a longer 30-day series where we travel across the entire east coast of South America. While walking, I would like to thank the sponsor of this video, Yasim, and they are the reason why I'm able to stay connected and share these very videos every single day. If you want to support me or you want to get a discount, check them out, link in my description, and use code KALIM15 for 15% off your first purchase. Let's go catch this bus. Right here is the bus line that you take to get to Machu Picchu. As you can see behind me, this is the bus stop right here where you can buy your bus tickets, and then yeah, you just wait in line like this. Now everyone here is basically for the 9 a.m. entrance. They say get here an hour before your entrance, but I came here an hour and a half before, just to be sure. I'd rather wait there than wait here, if you know what I mean. And then yeah, you got some dude playing over there. You've got a few people here who are actually offering tour guides, which you can get if you don't have a tour guide. So a guy approached me just before. He went to offer one, and I go, look, if you can get a group together, I'll do it with you. So yeah, hopefully we'll have a guide for today, and we'll get to see something pretty cool. Moved up, we got the buses. Gracias. We've made it. Okay, what a sight to see on the bus up. We've spotted the Machu Picchu. Can't see it, but it's on the mountain over there. Okay, we've made it to Machu Picchu. Finally. We have lathered up the sunscreen, but this is the sort of line that you have to wait to get in. I don't have my watch on right now, but the entrance is at 9 a.m. It's currently 8:50. We are waiting in line with the group. Yeah, this is how it looks right before you enter Machu Picchu. The thing is as well, when you're inside, there's actually no toilets. There's just one toilet down there, which is 2 soles to use. But fortunately, we don't need to go. We took care of business before we came. So let's hope we don't need to while we're inside. So we'll wait in line and then we'll head in. The line has started moving. We enter, you got to give your tickets and your passports, then you're let in. So right now we're about 2,440 meters elevation, which is a lot lower than Cusco. But yeah, this is where Machu Picchu is. The tour guide said I'm not able to film so much of his tour. However, all the information I get, I'm going to reiterate here. So I'm able to share a bit of the history of Machu Picchu and everything else that's going on. So check this out. So as we've walked up just this little bit, you can see this little hut right here. Turns out that was a storehouse where they store food, and he said like they store it for up to 80 to 90 years in the storehouse. However, I don't know how legit that is. Said it always stays cool, which is interesting, and it's yeah pretty solid. You can actually see Machu Picchu. I guess this is Machu Picchu, but on the other side as well, the ruins, which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Now we just get to continue hiking up, and it is so busy. There are a lot of tourists. Bloody tourists, man, go home. I'm also a tourist, so that's why that's funny. We are currently overlooking Machu Picchu, and I don't know if you can see the little circular tower here, but that tower is said to have been an observatory for the sun. And if you see the sort of ridge line on this mountain up here, it said that it was month by month, and where the sun came through to hit that tower is when they understood what month it was. And then it goes that way, then it comes back. And they're all V shapes at the top that they counted towards the time. So yeah, it was said that it was probably mainly in an observatory. There were probably 1,000 odd Inca people living there. Very interesting. As we continue trekking on, he said that this gate is aligned completely with the mountain, and ideally if there's not a lot of people, you can take a photo with it. And that is the official gate to enter into the complex of Machu Picchu. So these are the old, not Inca trails, but what they built, and there is Inca trails all around these mountains that lead to Machu Picchu and surroundings. It's quite stunning. As we enter, there is as well storehouses just down there where you can see these windows, where it is said that they were able to store beef jerky or animal meat jerky for 25 years. And they also said that jerky, from a word yerki I think it was, originally came from the Incas, and they were the first people to do it. I thought the Egyptians had done it, but I may be wrong, I'm not sure. Also, the pavement that's here, it has been re-established. However, the structural foundation of it is said to be limestone, limestone, sand and clay. It doesn't flood, which is awesome, and it's pretty solid, which is, interesting engineering. This area right here is called Kayanka. There's no English translation, but it was said that this is where people used to come and stay and sleep. They would put the alpaca fur down, and they'd put whatever down to use this as a resting spot. And it's said that Machu Picchu can hold up to 3,000 people comfortably, although there were about 1,000 people living here. Now, what's interesting about the walls is you have obviously this beautiful view, which is completely unreal. However, you also have these little niches right here, which is said to have, if there was an earthquake or anything was to happen, it used to absorb the shock and help the structure. It also makes the walls lighter, and it's a spot to lay something, a decoration. Very interesting. Now we'll go into the industrial section. These rocks right here that you see behind me, as you can tell, they aren't structured as Machu Picchu is structured, but it is said all the materials used to build Machu Picchu came from this very mountain. So they said that this could have been a sort of quarry area where they did farm the stones basically, and there was a resting spot right here, but it's what was used to build the whole area of Machu Picchu. So the stones were accessible right here, and then they built it. And now there were three ways of payment or systems that they used to perform the work. I forget the names, but I'll put all three on the screen right here. Now the first one was when you would do something for someone, instead of getting payment, you would be like, no, if I need anything, you help me out. The second one was a community-based thing, where it was a community effort to establish something and to lead to something and create something. And the third one was a sort of taxes system, which, it's work required, but we shall continue on. Those three steps right there symbolize Pachamama, which symbolizes unity. So when the Incas were around, they were a very united culture, species, or people, and they used to make incredible architecture, exactly like you see behind me, which is known as the main temple. I'm not great with the name, however, I heard that it used to be covered with silver and gold, and it was incredible. It used to be very beautiful until the Spanish came and kind of took some stuff. So there's that. Not bad at all. This area down here that we've come to, we were all the way up there. This area was sort of known as the amphitheatre, where they used to give talks and people would be all over listening to what was happening here. And if you see this little platform, I was wondering what it was before, but there's a rock there that's lying down, and this area is known as a sacred area, and what the guy told me was that sacred area is known as Wanka or Waka. I don't know. Anyway, the rock used to be standing, and there's a few theories on what it used to be. It was either a sundial, it could have been a platform, where they gave a speech. However, they laid it down due to somebody wanting to land a helicopter here, and since it hasn't been stood back up. So pretty interesting, but right underneath there is where the rock is. And obviously we've got our friends over here, and we trek on. So you got Boss Man just taking a sleep there, and we get to continue trekking through the beautiful lands of Machu Picchu. There's actually so much history here that I was completely unaware of, as I do not plan my travels quite nearly enough. or learn about the places I end up in. But when I'm there, fortunately I do learn about them. We got to catch up to our group. I have no idea where they are. This right here is another sacred area, and right behind this stone is the tallest mountain. Oh no, wait. Is the tallest mountain up there of this area of Machu Picchu. Now, this area was also a sacred area where they used to hold ceremonies, and this rock was known to be sacred to it. But the word wanka and waka tripping me out. And this is how the stone looks from the side. This right here is one of the houses that were during the time of the Incas. Check it out. So what's interesting about this spot is if you can see the archway up here, that used to be another level which used to be the storage area. Now, houses were only used to sleep in and store things at the top, which I guess is how houses should be. And everyone else, like throughout the day, they were just out. It was only for sleeping. So you only came in here when you wanted to sleep, which is, I think, is a great philosophy.
Incas put mummified bodies because Condor was missing there.
So back when the Incas were around, it was said that they were actually quite tall. However, tall was, the women were about 148 centimeters and the men were about 153. So there are some little gateways which were, if there were dwarves or anyone was deformed in the Incas, they were actually considered like special. They had special powers. And yeah, so the people, they weren't that huge. That's why you got all these little sort of gateways and things that you can see. Also, if you see this mountain just down here, there's an image that I can show on the phone where there was actually a bird, is what they are said to have seen. To be honest, I can't really see the bird, but that's what they reckon.
Look at between the bag and the rock. When sacrificing llamas there, the blood flowed through the canals on the head to be offered to the condor. Look at above the wings, as we were saying, there were niches. These were made in order to carry out funeral rituals.
So this area right here, I don't know if you can see, but the stairs, this used to have like 16 sort of waterways where the water would run through. Now the little foundation all along this little wall here, I say little, it's pretty huge, coming all the way up here. There was an agricultural section where they used to grow coca leaves and plants for the area, which is very interesting. So this section up here, I don't know if you see this house, but it said that potentially the Inca king used to stay there when he came here. He stayed in Cusco for the most part, but when he came to visit here, he potentially stayed up there. Otherwise, there was another guy who was a sort of advisor for the Incas. He's kind of like a monk where he spent a lot of his time in the field, a lot of his time not speaking, and just kind of was an advisor. They said that maybe he was staying there instead. But nevertheless, that was a really good spot, as it was close to the entrance of the waterway. And yeah, it was for the, I guess, higher class. I don't know if that's the right word to say, but that's where they were. And man, this is beautiful. I feel like I got hay fever now. But yeah, we've left the tour guide and now we are headed out. But we're going to explore a little bit more. We'll walk around a bit. I think there's a bit more to see. These are those waterways. Check it out. What a beautiful sight to see. There's a lot of tourists here and that's basically every day. However, it's still definitely worth the visit, mashallah. Beautiful spot. This is the archaeological site where you can come to. Check this out. Sorry, not archaeological site, agricultural site where they used to grow all the plants. It's pretty interesting how they turned the mountain into flat sections to be able to grow plants. There you go. A few more little storehouses on the way out. It's really just a nice walk around. I've also put it on like a hike on Strava. So the circuit to is about 2.6 kilometers. Yeah, it's been about 2 hours exploring this sort of area. But yeah, man, these mountains are just stunning. Like Machu Picchu is beautiful, but as I've said it before in other videos, mountains just get me, man. Mountains just get me. So I think now we're going to head out, ideally either hike or take the bus back to Aguas Calientes, and then we're going to show you how to get the train from Aguas Calientes back to Cusco. So you take a train, then a bus. We're going to manage it, we're going to work it out. However, we might hike back, depending on time. We might take the bus. So it looks like this is the line for the buses. We're gonna hike down, save 12 US, and ideally get some exercise in. Hiking trail Camino Peatonal. Starts here, we end up all the way back at Aguas Calientes. trek on. Well, this is the hike back down. It looks like it's got stairs the whole way, so it should be a pretty easy hike. However, we need to take care of our ankles because they are not in the best condition. So we're going to manage this wisely. Always looking where we're stepping and continuing on. I believe it's about 4.5 kilometers down. I may be completely off. However, nevertheless, we trek on. Ooh. Okay, don't twist ankles. Brother, I feel like I'm in Assassin's Creed right now. The thing is, you can do that when they're the steps, as the surfaces are quite flat and there's not that fear of losing the ankles. However, on certain sections, you do gotta slow down because I feel like that could go so easy. Inshallah they don't, because that would be a huge spanner in the works. Allah, doesn't happen. We keep going. Now would be an absolutely splendid time for the bus. However, we trek on. So the trails are made up basically of like stone steps, and also sometimes you are on the road with the buses, which is a little bit sketchy, but they always beep around the corners, and you're rarely on the road for this long. This is probably the longest I've been on the road. It's been about 50 meters. Otherwise you literally just walk like straight across and end up at the next steps. It's a nice run, I would say. I've been running down it. We're at 4.3k, which means would have started I think just under 2. Okay, so yeah, it's about 2.5. We've got about 2 left. I am slightly fatigued. However, we have our water. And the goal is to stay hydrated and continue this beautiful descent. Like, check this out. It is truly a beautiful walk, I will say. So inshallah we'll keep doing that. We'll see us hopefully close to the bottom, or down the bottom, who knows. Alrighty, look at this. We got the walk across. Looks like there's a little cafe over here if you want to take a break. I saw the sign for the museum, but I don't know where that is. However, I think we're gonna have to just keep trekking on. We want to get to the town as soon as possible. Alright, almost lost my water bottle. We want to get to the town as soon as possible and yeah, get some work done. Yeah, so it is the museum. However, we want to get back to Aguas Calientes to organize our train tickets, and yeah, we got some stuff to plan. Actually don't even have accommodation for tonight. So yeah, got a bit to do. Got to lock in for at least an hour. The bus takes 25 minutes and in my head I can get down there in half an hour. Brother, you're racing a bus. What are we talking about? Nevertheless, it's been about 35 minutes. Aguas Calientes. That was a mission. I basically ran it. And now just walking. Super sweaty, a little bit tired, but hey, we do it for the love of the game. Come on. Machu Picchu Pueblo. We've returned. Aguas Calientes. For some reason I'm happier now that we got back than after the 5-day Salkantay Trek, because that was an effort and a half to get down. However, now the next mission, find a solid cafe with internet. Now the cafe we tried yesterday was alright. It wasn't incredible internet wise. The coffee was good. However, we got to upload some footage. We got some work to do. While you wait for our arrival, get a hot stone massage. Oh, it's a massage place. Yeah, so we got to lock in, find a cafe. Well, hold on, we got to book our train ticket because we got to get out of this town and back to Cusco. All right, time to go. Get this train, get this cafe, get a munch, get some good internet, and absolutely get after it. We've made it to secure our train tickets. Let's try get one. Oh. Give you a little ticket when you come in, and we're gonna kick back. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. That's us. Okay, see. We're walking to a cafe now, but 12:28 p.m. There are still 17 tickets left for Route 2A. That's insane. What was the point of lining up that whole time if you can still get tickets this late? Regardless, it is what it is though. At least we got in. Had an early start, but yeah. You can get tickets a lot later than you expect, at least at this time of the year. It's probably going to get a lot more busy soon and a lot harder to get tickets. We have scored absolutely goated upload and download speed. That's FA Cafe Olante, solid pull. I gotta export some of this footage, so I'm not actually gonna really record the food, unless I can. But yeah, gotta get the SD card out of this, put it in there. We're gonna munch something, and then we're gonna take the train back to Cusco. We've finished up at the cafe. Almost got it uploaded, like 87% of a video. However, we have to leave as we have to go catch this train. We managed to get our bag, and yeah, we're on a mission now to get to this train before it departs. Whew, got a few stairs to go up, but inshallah we'll make it, and then we'll chat on the train. Got a bit to talk about, bit to discuss. Peru rail, we have made it. My hands are, as you can see, quite full, but vlogging is a challenge, so we'll go through now. Brother, it is hot, we are tired, and there are so many people. It's pretty full on, can't lie. I feel like there's probably a better way to do this, but we're not in Japan and we haven't worked that out yet. I'm now sat here on the train tracks. I don't know if you can see this fella over here. Basically is scanning everyone's tickets one by one, and there's probably about 100 people waiting here. Now, I was the second person he scanned, and took about 5 minutes to scan 2 people. So there's shocking connection, shocking Wi-Fi. I have no idea how long it's going to take him to scan everyone's, but yeah, this is interesting. He scanned it, waited, and then he goes, Kalim? I go, yeah. He goes, okay. Mind you as well, actually now that I have a bit of time, because we're not on the train yet, what I wanted to mention earlier is how expensive the train actually was. Now, to get the train to Cusco, or at least to, there was another spot, Oli Tampa, something or other, you can get a train there and then you can get a bus from there, which is normally a lot cheaper. However, when I booked this ticket, because I booked it today, I wasn't allowed to get the train just to that first part. I needed to book all the way to Cusco. So I booked a train to there and then the bus to Cusco with them, which ended up being like another 20 USD, where normally, like if I was to get to that town and then get the bus from there, it'd be like 10 to 20 soles, which is like maximum like 8 USD, you know? It is what it is, it happens. Saved 12 USD when I didn't take the bus back down from Machu Picchu, ended up hiking that. However, this train experience, it's kind of interesting. I know I want to put a business idea out there. If I was Peruvian and I lived in this area, this is what I would do. In Saudi Arabia, the trains can get expensive. So what do people do? Taxis, buses, they do it themselves. The Haram train is too expensive. So it would be better to, okay, someone bring their car, go, okay, instead of everyone paying $100 for the train, I'll charge you 50, 50, 50, 50, get 4 people in the car, I'll make $200 taking you all the way to Cusco, you'll save 50%, and it'll be direct. You won't need to go train, car, whatever. Regardless, I think the train's part of the experience as well. So we're here, we're doing it. We don't have the option of doing a car only, like in Saudi. So you take what you can get, and you continue on. That's what travel's about. Yeah, that's it from me. I'll see you on the train now, officially. This is what the train looks like. We've got a nice spot just here. Probably not going to film much while we're sitting because it's a full train. I'll probably be sitting next to someone. However, we've got a big line waiting outside. Everyone's sort of coming on now. We've got views up there, views out the window. It's got a bit of everything. So I'll show you some of the scenic routes. Otherwise, we're just going to get some work done. We've got some work to do. This train ride is pretty full on. This is what we got on the train. It's a bit wobbly and we've got almost 2 hours of this. We're excited. I'm trying to take a nap, but the train just keeps swaying from side to side. Now it's alright. So we had to actually switch trains because it disconnected from the last carriage. And there's actually people on this one. So we may have been stuck on the other one, but some guy out the window was like knocking. And he goes, go to the other one, so I had to run to hop onto this one. Char station. We just made it off the train, now we get to take the bus. The train was so hot, man, I don't know why, but it was like, I was sweating the whole time. I ended up sleeping most of it, alhamdulillah, which was good. Except I guess I probably missed some of the cool scenes. However, nevertheless, we've made it to Pachar, and now we got like another 2 hour, hour and a half bus ride. No, I think it's about 2 hour bus ride to Cusco. Yes, come on, freaking love this. This is the best part about travel. I don't know if you can tell that I'm being sarcastic. To be fair, it's alright. I mean, it's gonna do the job. Not bad. This is actually, it's quite cozy. We've got a nice window as well. I say that as if I'm not going to sleep. As soon as we take off, conked out. Check out the depth on this bad boy. I'm going to be like this. No, I'm not going to open my eyes. I'll be like this. You ready? Alright, what up, brother? What are you doing? Going crazy. Check it. You know what's crazy as well? Up there, I don't know if you can see. Look at that. Right there. That looks like a little sort of accommodation hanging off the side of the cliff, which is unreal. That's crazy. That's pretty cool. I want to stay there. I'm gonna Google that. Probably not. I probably won't have the time or connection. Alright, that's enough from me, Karim. We're gonna get on this bus, we're gonna get to Cusco, and then we're there. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Calm down, bro. And just like that, we've made it back to Cusco. Not bad, not bad. Made it to Cusco. Now you may be wondering, Kalim, aren't you in your dirty clothes? How are you on your bed? Well, they decided to give us a room with 2 beds, so I'm gonna sleep on that one. This one, I can just lie here for a second. Well, that has been the journey. We did Machu Picchu, we did the Salkantay Trek, and now we've arrived back in Cusco. If you enjoyed this video, it would mean the world if you are able to subscribe, as it will allow me to continue sharing this beautiful world with the world. Make sure you like, comment what you want to see next, and we've got a new country coming very soon. I want you to guess what it is in the comments, and I'll see you tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum. It would honestly suck if it got sold out in the time that I was in that cafe. Imagine we get stuck here another night. No, that's not happening. Oh, look at the length on that. If you touch my bag, I'm coming for you, I know that. On this side, it's Peru. On that side, it's Bolivia.